Hello there, I'm Lou Bayer, World Citizen Alliance co-founder with Jessie Lynn Brown out of Taiwan. And in this clip, which you should find in your online World Citizen Certificate in Civility for Children and Youth practitioner or public course, this is lesson 3 of 5 giveaway lessons. And this one is called You Have Value, and the theme is about respecting ourselves. And so I encourage you to make sure that you review lessons 1 and 2 before you get to this lesson, because the lessons build on each other. And I am going to take my face out of here and pop up the lesson for us so that I can share that content with you. Let me see here. See if I can do this for you. Excellent. Move myself out. Here we are. So this lesson, as I mentioned, is about respecting ourselves. And in this case, we want to teach children that although we just did the golden rule, which is about how you treat other people, we just talked in lesson 2 about first impressions, how we care about how other people perceive us, that we want to make a good impression, that, we have a personal responsibility to, present our best self and so on. We also want them to understand that regardless of how others see them, that they have value. And some of this we started ingraining, I hope, this message with the You Are Golden. That's the Golden Rule, lesson 1, where we want them to know that, what's inside, that each of them has this bit of gold in their heart, in their character, that it's not just your outward expression, that you have value even when you just are. So you don't necessarily have to say or do anything to be considered of value. So this lesson is about respecting themselves, and we want them to have a sense of, how do you do that? And so this lesson, like all of the others, is written the same way: a rationale, some learning objectives. Here, let me move this over a little bit so that you can see. We've highlighted what are the skills and competencies that are being covered off in the lesson, and it's meant for ages 3 to 8. So you have to know who you're teaching and kind of what their levels are and so on, and then you can adjust the lesson accordingly. So we want to introduce the concept of self-respect and how taking care of yourself is a way of showing others. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't expect others to take care of you. Of course, we're dealing with little children here, so they have parents that take care of them, but they can learn to take care of their toys and to take care of their room, to wash their hands is taking care of themselves. So once again, we're going to start with as simple a message as we need to, depending on the age. So we want them to know what self-respect is. We want them to know why they should have self-respect and are deserving of it. And how do we show respect for people and things? So from an essential skills point of view, this covers off oral communication, working with others, self-awareness. And from a 21st century learning, some of this is social skills and what I would call life skills, sort of the basics of getting by in the world. So as we're moving through the lesson, there are worksheets and handouts, recommended reading. For example, for toddlers and preschools, how do you boost self-esteem? I think that all of this is really good reading for you to take some time to review before you start teaching these classes. Yoga for kids, I think, is one interesting and fun way to expend a little energy in class, but also to start at a young age teaching children self-care and self-regulation, mindfulness, how to manage stress. It's a very good aspect of self-respect. And there's some great books. This How to Fill the Bucket today. There's different versions of that in different languages, and I think it's a brilliant book with older kids to do the fill a bucket exercise. You can Google it. Is one nice way to present this lesson too. So there's some good books here indicated. As I mentioned, depending on what country you're in, some of these might be accessible to you in different languages. The same books in Amazon or Barnes & Noble or whatever book supplier you use. Some is ebooks. Otherwise, you can certainly look for books that have the same kind of key message that are popular in your own countries. So, again, they're all excellent books. We took some time to choose them. So, there's a couple of takeaway activities or worksheets that are especially good for older kids too. So, it would have come up in a previous lesson when we talk about the golden rule and about value, this word respect. And so we want to remind children, what does respect mean? And then we want them to know that we're going to talk about self-respect today. So I like to do the compliment circle or self-confidence circle, where you put children in a circle, they hold hands, one by one they get to go in the middle and say something that they like about themselves. If children are very shy, let them stay in their seats. Don't make them stand up in front of people, but let them say or write down, and then you can say for them one thing they like about themselves. Express to them that it's okay to be proud of yourself. It's okay to like who you are and how you look. It's okay to be excited about being different than somebody else. And we want them to be reminded again that we all have value. We're the same in many ways, but different in some ways, and that makes us more valuable. So we want them to share one thing that they are proud of, that they like about themselves. For older children, you can talk about ways that we might neglect ourselves. So, for example, not eating well, not exercising, staying up all night playing video games and not getting enough sleep, speaking unkindly to ourselves, negative self-talk. Help older kids see that once we've adopted those habits, we have to be mindful and change them. For younger children, maybe it's as simple as, do you brush your teeth? That's one way that we have self-care. That's one way we take care of ourselves. Do we call ourselves names? And let's not do that, right? We can do some stretches and take some deep breaths. One way we take care of ourselves is breathing well. Just stop for a moment and appreciate and acknowledge that we have fresh air. Stop and look at what amazing good food we have and, enjoy it. We're teaching mindfulness and self-care and self-respect. As always, there's a lot buried in these lessons. You can make it as simple, do in 10 minutes, pick out one little piece that you think is relevant for your group, or you can expand it to a whole half day or multiple lessons if you prefer. So, it comes up in this lesson, feelings again. So, self-respect, a lot of that has to do with how we feel about ourselves. Are we angry at ourselves or disappointed at ourselves? Are we sad a lot of the time? And so let children self-identify and label. You can use the feeling stick faces again that you made in lesson 1, or let them write on a board, or let them pick a face that you've created off, printed laminated cue cards of faces, all kinds of ways. So explain to them that we are our best self, we learn better, we're a better friend, we're better helpers at home, we're happier, if we respect ourselves. So part of this is we're wanting them to understand as well that it's not being selfish, but we do have to take care of ourselves some of the time. So we're going to talk about some of these questions. When I respect myself, and ask them these questions. Brush my teeth. And when we talk about expanding the lesson, in this way you could in fact bring in a brand new toothbrush for every child. Teach them toothbrush techniques. Maybe you bring in hand sanitizer and teach them how to sanitize properly. Maybe we have different hair brushes and we teach them how to brush their hair. Maybe we teach them how to fold their clothes. We can teach them how to take deep breaths, belly breaths. Sit on the floor, teach them how to take a belly breath. Explain to them that that's how we can control our emotions. Teach them to pause for a moment and pay attention. If they feel that they're hungry, what are they going to do about that? Are they going to eat some cookies? Or are they going to eat something healthy? So you could expand the lesson to 3 foods that are good for you, 3 things that are energizing. We could talk to them about respecting yourself by telling people how you feel or what you need or want, setting boundaries, saying no. Again, it's going to depend on the age, and you can expand the lesson in any way you like. So this is a handout that you can laminate on a chart, put in your classroom, or you can give to the children, a couple of yoga poses. Look at the sky, be a jellyfish, sandcastle, be a dolphin. There's all these, it's so cute. Be a crab, be a sea urchin, or change the language and pick a term, that is something that is relevant to the children, to their background or culture or context. There's this nice worksheet here, what my body does for me, what I love about my body. And you can do this as a group and write on a board for children that can't read or write. You can assign a buddy, and an older child can help a younger child. With the older children, you can let them do it on their own at home and bring back the worksheet, all kinds of things. And, for what my body does for me, what's unique about me, the responses might not be the same for every child. So it's important to give an opportunity for the children to speak aloud and to share what they might put on the worksheet. This is a worksheet that I like when it's filled out to send home so that parents can see. What can I do to stay strong and healthy? If it's eat healthy snacks and the child asks for healthy snacks, maybe the parent will work harder to provide that as opposed to just giving a bag of potato chips or something. Maybe as part of your course, you say to children, from now on, when you come to class, we're only going to have healthy snacks here. So here's a list of things that you're allowed to bring for your snack. And we'll have some as well in case you forget yours. But put on there fresh fruit. Put on there, whole grain bread. Put on there cheese or whatever is healthy. And don't allow sugary snacks or pop or cookies or things that are going to be harmful to the children long term. And so there you go here. There's the quiz if you want to send it home for older children. This lesson, again, can be expanded or made short form, but it's really good if you use this lesson 3 after lesson 1 and after lesson 2. All of the lessons kind of scaffold, and kids need to have some of the prior knowledge before this is going to be particularly meaningful for them. Thank you.